Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's video. So we're going to have a look at weather next 8 to 10 days in today's video. This will take us into the Easter period. A lot of uncertainty in relation to next week's weather, particularly late next week, getting into that Easter period. It seems as though whenever we've got a bank holiday or some important event coming along, the weather gods will always throw lots of uncertainty into the mix, and it's a classic one of those situations at the moment. So I'll attempt to make sense of the models this morning for today's video in relation to next week, but just don't take anything too seriously in terms of how things are playing out later next week. Later on today, we'll also have the third Easter update. That'll be on the Easter updates page, just focusing specifically on Good Friday, Saturday, Easter Sunday, and Easter Monday as well. So that'll be coming up this evening. So before I get on with all of that, just say about the ads at GasWeatherViz. There's links to articles on all the pages. Have a browse through widgets and click through the links if there's any articles that you're interested in. Thanks very much for doing that. There's also video ads on most of the pages which open out the content when you watch them. It close back up again. It's helping to pay for our website, so thanks so much for getting involved, and thanks for doing that. Now, we're launching a competition at the weekend. Don't want to say too much about it at the moment, but on Sunday there will be a competition. We're going to have a giveaway at GasWeatherViz. All the detail about the prize and how to enter will be released here on the website on Sunday morning, but we're teaming up with metcheck.co.uk weather instrumentation to give away another prize. It's the third year running but we've had a spring giveaway, so you'll find out much more about that on Sunday and as we go through the course of next week. Let's get on with the video then. We've got the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles here. First of all, these are for the next 2 weeks, so this takes us into April. We've got the dates on the bottom of the chart, 1st of April, just there of course. The red line here is the 30-year temperature average, so we're going to be a bit above average in terms of the upper air temperatures anyway for the next few days going into the weekend and then into the start of next week as well. Now, these are for the upper atmosphere. Down on the surface, because of the orientation of the high pressure, it's bringing in easterly winds, which will drag in quite a lot of cloud and cooler temperature, particularly at night. Because of that, these upper air temperatures are flattering to deceive, but it's actually cooler than this is suggesting. But anyway, in terms of the upper air temperatures, we're a little bit above average over the rest of the week. Now, you'll notice there's a lot of scatter here from quite early on in the ensemble. So really from around this point on, we've got a lot of scatter there. We've got several members of the ensemble which look really quite warm through the course of next week. Several members are really quite cold, and they go off into that Easter period, which is this period just here, of course. So it's hard to decipher too much from that, to be honest. Very, very difficult period coming up, and when you get that much scatter within the ensemble suite, so we've got something like a 15 to 20 degree temperature difference between the warmest and coldest members of the ensemble. When you get that much scatter so early on within the ensemble suite, it just tells you really that the outlook for the forecast is really quite uncertain, and nothing is to be relied upon, I don't think, when we're talking about next week, particularly late next week in terms of the weather. What we can say is going to be a lot of dry weather for the coming week. There's hardly any precipitation spikes to be seen there from today through well into next week. After that, though, get through to the Easter period and then into the end of the month, start of April, the precipitation spikes do come back. Not a desperately wet period, so nothing to be overly alarmed about, but certainly it looks a bit more unsettled there as we go through to the very end of March and into the start of April. The temperature normally looks a bit cooler than average. This is from the 17th through 25th of March. We are coming out just about cooler than average. Not much of a deviation, but definitely on the negative side of average there, and very dry as well. We saw it on the ensemble a second ago, so really dry week coming up from 17th to 25th of March. Hardly any measurable rain at all really during the coming week. Here's the generic chart, starting with the GFS first of all, and that has high pressure centred over the top of the country for the start of next week, so loads of dry and settled weather, and that continues into the middle part of next week as well. Notice pressure is beginning to weaken. The high pressure is starting to weaken off, but still just about in control even into the middle part of next week. And that takes us through to Good Friday. This is Friday the 25th of March, by which time low pressure is now starting to advance in off the Atlantic Ocean. And it does look like it's turning more unsettled there as we're going through the Easter weekend. This is day 10, Sunday 27th of March, which is Easter Sunday. And, low pressure is sort of stuck out to west of the country. It's trying to throw rain bands in. So even getting through to this Easter period, but GFS is not definitive about breaking down the high pressure. It's trying to bring bands of rain in across the country, but this low pressure is stalled and it is starting to slip down towards the Bay of Biscay. Have a look at the ECMWF. That shows high pressure dominating for the start of next week. High pressure continues through much of next week, but eventually that pulls out into the Atlantic. So this is a week away, 30th to 24th of March, and we bring down a northerly here, a bit of a northerly shot. If you follow the isobars back, they do originate from quite a long way north, actually, with the air. So significantly colder air coming south just before the Easter weekend with the ECM. And that continues into Good Friday as well. Then high pressure topples back over the country into Easter Saturday. And then day 10, Easter Sunday, 27th of March, shows a bit of an east-west split developing. High pressure going up towards Scandinavia. Low pressure is trying to come in off the Atlantic. So this is kind of similar to the GFS for day 10, but the low pressure is much further north to the south of Greenland, and we've got this area of high pressure over Scandinavia, so a bit of a battle's going on here with a band of rain moving into fairly cold air. You won't be able to rule out the chance of some snow over northern hills with that on Easter Sunday. And then the GEM is different again. So for the start of next week, again, high pressure's dominating over country. That stays with us into the middle part of next week. Quite cool air rotating around that high pressure from the north and the northeast. For the second half of next week, though, and this is when the uncertainty is creeping up, creeping in just before Easter and over the Easter holiday. The GEM wants to take this high pressure further west. It's actually called retrogression, where we start to move the high pressure up towards Greenland, and that sets us into really quite a northerly shot over the Easter weekend itself. So this is Good Friday and bringing a cold front down across the country with significantly colder air following along behind. And then this is Easter Saturday, the 26th of March, where we're in a proper northerly there. Again, follow the isobars back. The air originates from a long way north, and that takes us through into Easter Sunday, the 27th of March. Again, cold air out, high pressure out to the north and west, low pressure to the east. I've got proper cold air coming in from the north and northeast. Won't be able to rule out the chance of snow showers with that, particularly in the north and east of the country. So between the GFS, the ECMWF, and the GEM, they're all different really for the second half of next week. Up to midweek, we seem to have the pattern sort of pinned down, which is for high pressure to be dominant really through the weekend, this weekend into the start of next week, up to around Wednesday. High pressure's dominating, so going to be chilly but mostly dry. After that, hugely uncertain situation with all three models looking different. Looks like the Atlantic's going to try and have a go as we're running up towards Easter, but how much it gets in and whether this high pressure fends it off is another matter really, and we're going to have to wait and see on that. We could also not rule out the chance of bringing down quite a cold shot from the north sometime around Thursday morning, Good Friday. We might bring down quite a cold push from the north. How long that lasts is very uncertain as well. So if you've got plans for the Easter weekend, it's just going to be a case of watch this space, I think. Really keep an eye on the Easter updates. Say the third Easter update will be with you tonight, because it's a very, very uncertain and challenging period to forecast, as it always seems to be when we've got an Easter weekend or a bank holiday weekend or some other event taking place. It seems like the weather always knows when we've got an important period coming up, and to make life difficult for forecasters like me, decides to make the weather very uncertain. So third Easter update coming up tonight. Tomorrow we're going to have JMA Friday, so we'll have a month-ahead look ahead and try to see whether we can pick up some trends for the coming month, and that takes us well on into April with that one, of course. So come back this evening for the third Easter update, but that's all for now, and thanks for watching.